It's your boy, Pooks, back with another digital dopamine drip for the unemployed. In the gaming industry, there are success stories like Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Wow, what a mouthful. But what isn't is their studio of only 30 members, who cut ties with the joke that keeps on giving called Ubisoft. It's a classic underdog story of triumph. And then, there's games like Concord or Redfall that crash and burn immediately at release. There's a game on the horizon that I fear may be giving those two titles some very nice needed company. Now I, like many others, haven't even ran a marathon, let alone heard of the IP called Marathon. But when I first watched the cinematic trailer, I was instantly drawn in. The art style, design, the futuristic apocalyptic mystery of a planet detached from outside help? Ooh, it's getting interesting. A world that changed by something or someone? What story will Bungie craft here? What PvE experience will I have to engage? Oh, what's that? It's not PvE? They haven't written a full story. Oh, it's an extraction shooter? That's odd, but maybe Bungie has a vision we can't see yet? Psych! Stolen art, mass layoffs, and the same broken patterns. I've been a long-time consumer, fan, and hater of Bungie. I've cheered, I've cried, I've left, I've come back. It's pretty much a relationship with the world's most toxic ex at this point. We have so much history together, but nothing seems to change. We've seen game studios' prestige not be enough to make a good game. BioWare with Anthem and the beloved Mass Effect series. CD Projekt Red even with its launch of Cyberpunk 2077.
Cyberpunk 2077. Pre-order now.
Although being a good game and fixing it later, it suffered from many issues and glitches at release to the point of pulling it off the shelves. I feel that Bungie's name has lost its grace, and I don't know if we'll ever find it back. In today's video, I want to dissect not just the studio's potential future, but also look at the story of its past. Grab a snack, snag a bevy, and park those pristine cheeks on something extra comfy. This ride's about to get wild. Ah, Bungie. Before the drama, before the layoffs, before Destiny was both a dream and a disappointment, there were small beginnings. Let's take it back. Way back. The year is 1991. Terminator 2 is melting your minds in theaters. Nirvana is making grunge a lifestyle. And two college students, Alex Ropian and Jason Jones, form a tiny company in Chicago called Bungie. Their first game? Nope. Go? Nope. It's Pong spelled backwards. Revolutionary, am I right? But it sold, and that's what they needed. A couple PowerPoint slides later, they released Pathways into Darkness in '93, and then Marathon in 1994. Not the extraction shooter that we're fearing today. No. This Marathon was like Doom's smarter, weirder cousin. It had deep lore, environmental storytelling, and even AI characters that went rogue way before it was trendy to make ChatGPT earn you a college degree. Then came Myth in '97. Imagine an RTS where every click sends arms, legs, and torsos flying like a medieval war film directed by Quentin Tarantino, minus the obsession of women's feet. But it wasn't until Halo that Bungie rocketed into legendary status. Bungie rolls out a trailer for a third-person sci-fi shooter with vehicles, aliens, and this massive ring in the sky. People lose their minds. Microsoft sees this and goes, yeah, that's ours now.
You answer to me. You provide for me. You belong to me. Right? Speak when you're spoken to! You answer to me. You provide for me.
Provide for you.
You belong to me. Right!
So Microsoft bought Bungie in 2000. And Halo Combat Evolved became the launch title for the original Xbox in 2001. And what a title! Master Chief Cortana, a dynamite duo. And that banger theme song that makes you want to charge into war with nothing but your bare chest and war paint. Halo wasn't just a good shooter, it redefined console FPS gameplay. It felt good, LAN parties were born, multiplayer turned into a full-blown religion. Then came Halo 2 in 2004. Xbox Live was still a baby, but Bungie turned it into a playground of dual-wielding and energy swords. And that cliffhanger ending that left us all on the edge of our seats, excitingly waiting for what comes next. Then, Halo 3. Marketing perfection. Finish the fight, one of the greatest gaming hype cycles of all time. And Bungie delivered. Epic campaign, perfect multiplayer, forge mode, theater mode. It was the total package. Now, you think the story ends there, but no, Bungie wasn't done. In 2009, they dropped Halo 3 ODST and flipped the series on its head. Smaller story, jazz-infused noir vibes, Nathan Fillion voice acting. You're not the superhero here. Hell, you're not even the sidekick. You're just a soldier of many in a war bigger than yourself. It was beautiful. It even introduced a new wave-based mode called Firefight, where you and your homies would try to survive the horrors of war, and it became a future staple in the series. And finally, Halo Reach in 2010, their swan song. The prequel we never knew we needed. A tragic heroic tale of noble team in the fall of Reach. Beautiful, emotional, and the ending, and you know you know. It was the perfect goodbye letter to the fans. After Reach, Bungie was done with Halo. They handed the keys to 343 Industries and walked into a new era. If you want to hear more about Halo and what path it's heading, you can check out my Halo's Last Shot video. Yeah, we shamelessly plug out here. But what's next for a studio that's continued to push the envelope of the shooter genre? A studio who had lines of midnight releases and created a mascot of a console. Going forward, what is Bungie's destiny? See what I did there? You get that destiny? Okay. Once upon a time, Bungie said, what if we made a game that lasted 10 years?
For the strength of the pack is the wolf. And the strength of the wolf is the pack.
This is the story of Destiny. Not just the game, but the dream, the disaster, the dopamine. Grab your Gallahorn, dust off that god roll pulse rifle. We're about to unravel a saga of broken promises, disappointment, and enough loot-fueled chaos to make your ghost cry. The year is 2013. Bungie is finally free. The Halo saga is behind them. And they announced their next magnum opus, their Mona Lisa, Destiny. They described it as a shared world shooter, part MMO, part FPS, part space wizard fantasy. A 10-year vision, a connected galaxy, deep lore, living worlds, public events, raids, social hubs, fully voiced NPCs, seamless matchmaking, factions, fate. We're creating a world that players will live in for years to come. You'll write your own legend. The trailers were cinematic crack, Guardians walking on Venus with capes billowing in solar winds, Titans body slamming Cabal like WWE gladiators. Please, Rhea Ripley, step on me! The Traveler looming above Earth like a cosmic deity. It felt like Halo met Star Wars and then had a child with World of Warcraft. We've never seen a genre like this try to coexist. A whole galaxy to explore, weapons to find, space powers to unleash, and a whole story. It felt almost too good to be true. But this is Bungie we're talking about, right? They never have failed us before. Surely this is the next step in evolution of gaming, just like Combat Evolved was. And who better to lead the charge other than Bungie? The launch and the lack. September 9th, 2014. You already played the beta and felt like you just got a sliver of what this game has to offer. But it's launch day. We log in, we create our Guardian, we bust a move in the tower, we start the story, and then realize there isn't one. It's over before it even started. The campaign felt like it was written by AI that stopped working half the way. The lore, trapped in Grimoire cards on a website, but real ones would just watch Bife. Shout out to Bife. NPCs were cardboard, the dialogue was vague. Dinklebot's voice acting was so robotic that Bungie literally replaced him with Nolan North later on. The reviews that came out were not great either. IGN, great gunplay, but lacking content. GameSpot, it's like a Ferrari with no engine. Yikes. The community was filled with rage, forums were on fire, Reddit was melting, and YouTube was having a fucking special pot roast. We had been promised a 10-year epic. Instead, we got a game with fewer cutscenes than a PowerPoint presentation. And then, the truth came out. Like it always does. The story that was thrown away. Insiders leaked that Destiny originally had a huge, sprawling, fully written narrative by Joseph Staten, Halo's own storytelling guru. But about a year before launch, Bungie execs didn't like how complex it was. So they scrapped it, gutted the game, chopped up missions, ripped out context. Staten left the company, and with it, morale plummeted. The 10-year plan already on life support. The grind and the loot cave. Despite the chaos, players kept logging in. Why? Bungie's gunplay was flawless. The Vault of Glass raid, legendary. PvP, spicy. And the loot grind, it broke our brains. Hell, we even stood in front of a literal cave in the Cosmodrome, firing bullets into a black hole, praying for purple drops. It became a meme, a metaphor, a shrine, and also indicated of how broken the progression system was. The Dark Below and House of Disappointments. The first two expansions, Dark Below and House of Wolves. What can I say? Expensive, shallow, short campaigns, recycled assets, no new zones. Players began realizing the game wasn't being expanded, it was being trickled. To the point where players even found some of these areas within the base game before their release, which led to the theory that all the DLCs were removed content. The player base shrank, faith evaporated. The Taken King, a glorious comeback. Then, a miracle. The Taken King arrived in 2015. And Destiny finally felt like the game we were promised. Orcs, an actual villain, story, cinematics, new subclasses, better loot. Cade 6 even started cracking jokes even. The tower felt alive. This was peak Destiny 1. This new direction of the game made it feel that Bungie was actually learning what Destiny is. The identity issues it had of who it caters to, as well as the lack of personality, has seemed to be brought to the forefront. This thought process will likely become evident later as a pattern of who Bungie really is. But we'll get there soon. The Last Goodbye. 2016 gave us Rise of Iron. Nostalgic, solid. A final victory lap before Destiny 2. But also, the beginning of more silence. Behind the scenes, there was trouble. Destiny 2. Promises, reset, regret. Destiny 2 launched in 2017 with fireworks, new engine, revamped systems, Cade was funnier, the cutscenes were prettier, and the campaign had an actual story. Well, an attempt at one. Yes, there was a fully voiced villain with motivations and characters that talked, including the speaker even dying and giving us the best version of telling someone to alt F4 themselves in cinematic history.
Devotion. Self-sacrifice. Death.
Death. Explain.
Devotion inspires bravery. Bravery inspires sacrifice. Sacrifice leads to death. So, feel free to kill yourself.
But the stakes of losing your light are gone within seconds. The Cabal not being the brutish force that nukes and doesn't ask questions was uncharacteristic for a character such as Gaul. But despite whether you like the campaign or not, it was just the beginning. The core of any Destiny game is the endgame. And oh boy. Gone were random rolls, weapon systems were restrictive, shaders became consumable predatory microtransactions, any game was bare bones, PvP watered down, the grind was nerfed into oblivion, gone were the times of gasping and yelling when you got an exotic, they were dropping left and right. Did Bungie help try to put out these fires? Not really. Bungie said Destiny 2 was for casual players. I'm sure you can imagine how players reacted to that. They also said Eververse wasn't going to be pay to win. Guess what got beefier? Guess what got nerfed? The community erupts again. YouTubers, streamers, everyone turned on Bungie again. Luke Smith was in the hot seat. Hashtag remove Eververse was trending. Expansions were delayed and when released, disappointing. Communication broke down between Bungie and its fans, and Jesus Christ, I don't fucking blame them. If I got a silver for every time a Destiny fan messaged a death threat to a dev at Bungie, I would have enough to buy out the whole Eververse store. Forsaken, the second coming. Then came Forsaken in 2018. Our joke-telling, fearless hunter leader Cade died. The story was grittier and streamlined, no longer focused on the grandiose of space and your journey. No, this was a story about personal revenge, vendetta, and getting payback. The dreaming city was gorgeous and left you in awe. Gambit debuted. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing at this point, but it debuted. Players said, this is it, this is peak Destiny 2. It's almost like this is becoming a pattern, am I right? Big mess ups and then a release that restores your face so much you're ready to get down on one knee for the girl who smashed your car on your last breakup. But maybe this is different, because Activision dropped Bungie. Yup, in 2019, Bungie went independent again. People cheered, we're free! No more corporate meddling! Surely Bungie now with its freedom can do whatever it pleases. Be careful what you wish for. They were not ready. The long winter. Post-Forsaken Destiny was complicated, like more complicated than telling someone the chronological order of the Kingdom Hearts games. Shadowkeep dropped. Moon's haunted, some hated it, some loved it, a return to the moon with some new locations and some spooky vibes. Beyond Light. Stasis is fun until it's broken in PvP, and that was pretty much it. The story was weak, Europa felt empty, and I don't even remember ever returning there other than for Clovis Bray. Bungie would always have a balancing act for, well, balancing. Weapons and classes would always need to be nerfed, buffed for PvP, now Gambit, and the PvE. This means one of the group is surely going to be unhappy. Moving forward came my favorite expansion, and I think probably everyone else's, The Witch Queen, 2022. Storytelling peak. Real cutscenes, people actually knew what was happening. A well-written villain, fuck it, the best written villain. Great character motivations, amazing level designs and art combining the gothic of the Hive and the light of the Traveler. Oh, didn't I mention? Enemies are wielding the light, having their own ghosts. Cool weapons, exotics, and endgame content was impeccable. This expansion truly showed what Bungie was capable of. This wasn't like Forsaken or The Taken King, this truly felt like Bungie had arrived. The build-up from the previous seasons felt worth it. Destiny felt alive, and players were beyond excited for the next two final expansions for Destiny's story. Lightfall, Neon, Cloudstriders, Narrative Whiplash. The iconically named Lightfell was a misstep off the fucking staircase. It introduced visually an awesome new area in Neptune, and an intuitive new fun subclass in Strand. And one new enemy type? Other than that, everything was a flash in the pan, but not a bonfire to sit around and keep you warm. It left players wondering what went wrong and how could Bungie fall so far from grace of the Witch Queen. The Promised End. The Final Shape. The Final Shape was Bungie's last shot at closing up the story that started more than 10 years ago. And for the most part, they succeeded. A satisfying campaign with the highest stakes and deep emotions. A love letter to its players. With The Final Shape, some players saw this as the end of their Destiny journey. Some still play and look forward to the next expansions and what's next in the series. Scandals, layoffs, stolen art, oh my. But let's not forget the mass layoffs of 2023. Bungie laid off over 100 employees, including veterans and community team leads, right before Christmas. This isn't a surprise to most Bungie fans, as this seems like a norm for the studio to drop their employees faster than you could say in-game team finder. The team is left now with only a handful of its original devs. Oh, and can't forget the breakup of music composer legend Marty O'Donnell. It was a complex issue over artistic vision, creative control, legal battles, and the challenges of working on a large-scale evolving game like Destiny. Lawsuits for stealing the story of an author? Did Bungie really steal the story of the Red War from a book? Short answer, no. But unfortunately for Bungie, the judge is not playing ball. The judge will not allow them to showcase any of the alleged theft through the way of YouTube content creators as evidence to dispute. Now, some of you might be asking, why are they using YouTube? Shouldn't be an issue just to show the cutscenes of your own game. Well, Bungie, the great minds that they are, vaulted that content. And for all you employed viewers who might not know what that means, imagine burning your old homework, then getting accused of cheating. And your only defense is, trust me bro, I definitely did it, I just can't show you. This puts Bungie in a fight with their hands behind their back, and doesn't help shine their name, and doesn't help with their PR. All this bundled up with delayed expansions, down earnings, and a shrinking player base. And now for some actual serious stuff. The toxic work culture allegations. In 2021, a report from IGN exposed a troubled internal environment where multiple employees described crunch, mistreatment, and a lack of accountability from leadership. Bungie responded by acknowledging the issues and promising to do better, but for many the damage had already been done, and even now there are cases and articles coming out of sexual harassment taking place at Bungie. Through all this, Bungie's once unshakable name began to lose its shine. Regardless, Destiny will go down as one of the most ambitious, divisive games of our time. It has moments of brilliance and stretches of despair. Now with Destiny Saga finally wrapping up, for better or worse, you think Bungie might take a well-earned breath, reflect, maybe even reinvent themselves and make sure sexual harassment doesn't take place in their work culture?
Can I just talk to you for a second? No. Okay, what? You can't yell out, I need this, as you pin down an employee on your lap. Okay.
But instead, they've set their sights on something different. Something called Marathon. A name from their past, reborn into a genre no one expected and wrapped in more mystery than actual substance. So what exactly is this new Marathon? An extraction shooter with a development style of extracting art by way of theft? Yup, as you might have heard, Bungie got caught with their hands in the cookie jar. was stolen concept art. The Marathon reboot was caught using art assets traced from an artist, Antireal. They claim it was just some rogue ex-employee, but the internet was quick to call them out that multiple devs at the game followed her account. I'll be sure to put her socials in the description so you can go support her work and give her the recognition she deserves. Despite what may be the truth, this will set back the team for sure, which is proven with the announced delay. Now, they must scour through the whole game to ensure no game art is compromised and create original designs. Legacy. Throughout the release, Bungie has undoubtedly shown us who they are as a studio. They released half-baked projects with a vague vision and let the players complain and guide them to steer and chart the right course just to be praised and given false faith. And if you feel that this is too harsh and maybe not true, take it from Bungie themselves. In Marathon Showcase for Special Media or CCs, SkillUp states that devs told him that they plan to find the identity and build the story in-game around the players.
That Bungie planned to build this game with the help of their community. But I don't think you can say we're going to build this game with the help of our community while still charging a premium upfront price tag for it. It's like you got to pick one. Either the game is built and you charge for it, or it isn't, and you welcome people in for free so they can help do some of the work for you.
This is a huge design flaw in Bungie's philosophy. They have the same coined BioWare magic syndrome that would be proclaimed when there was no leadership or direction. Make a game finished. Don't act like it's a free-to-play early access game that doesn't feature any pre-orders or deluxe editions. This is a fully charged game that should feel that it has a completed soul, which seems to not be the case. Multiple playtesters have stated the gunplay has that good Bungie feel. However, there is something missing within Marathon. With the extraction shooter genre being so niche as it is, having a game within it with a price tag and no solo or duo options, it makes it difficult to contend with the likes of others. Bungie has more problems and questions than answers and hype, and I think it's time for all of us to take off any rose-tinted glasses that we may have. This game studio has repeatedly failed its player base and employees. So don't pre-order Marathon or the Destiny expansions. Wait and see if Bungie has earned your money. Wait for reviews and see if these projects have the legs not to just stand, but to run its live service life cycle. Because this video is the story of how a great studio has become a hollow walking husk of itself that doesn't deserve your faith. It doesn't deserve your hopes. It doesn't deserve your hard-earned paycheck. And most importantly, it doesn't deserve your time. And with that, I've been Pooks. Thanks for watching. I know it was a long one. If you made it this far, comment down below and share what you think about Bungie and what the future might hold. Also, thank you for the recent number of subscribers. I really appreciate it. If you haven't joined the Pookie Bear Club, be sure to hit that sub button for more degeneracy and lunacy from yours truly. If you're still hungry and greedy for more content, be sure to check out my Twitch. I stream most days. In fact, most gameplay found in this was from Twitch, so who knows, maybe you could appear in the next video, huh? And if you're still looking for reasons to subscribe, well, I don't have time to explain why I don't have time to explain. Peace.